And in that year, let's celebrate.
Yes.
Let's celebrate some love because um, the world is too small. The world is too small. We are all here, and it's enough with trying to tell people how to be a person. And a lot of this is what this shit is all about. Control is let me control your your humanity, and that's never going to be good.
No.
So, I got a question.
I might have answers.
It's funny because once again, people would say things about like, don't rewrite your history, don't rewrite your history, don't rewrite history, and things like that. And they use the Holocaust as an example. Do me a favor, if you can, just quickly. How long was the Holocaust?
How long did it last?
Yeah, like that. What is that period considered? Like 1940s this to 50 this, or 40 this to 40 that?
41 to 45.
41 to 45. 4 years. Don't get me wrong, they did a lot of evil shit. Super evil shit. In that 4 years.
Yeah, they were brutal.
It I hope nothing like that ever happens again.
It's
Now,
almost like it shouldn't have been real.
now here's the thing though. In that 4 years, you don't what they were going for was genocide.
Yes.
You feel me? So when you're going for genocide, either you achieve it or you don't. So, and that's what those places stand for. Those places for, here's a place where they were trying to wipe a race off the face of the map.
Yep.
You can't compare that with slavery. You can't compare that with the American slavery. You just fucking can't. You can't.
I don't think it should be compared.
And here's why. If you knew how to read before you went to the concentration camp, and for some reason, which a lot of people did, you survived the concentration camp. You came out knowing how to read. You came out with all the skills you had before you went in.
Right.
Well, if you were a slave and you had a child, most likely that child was going to be born not knowing how to read,
Right.
not having any fucking rights,
Yep.
not having any skills outside of being a slave and working on a plantation
Yep.
that its master deemed for you.
Right.
Motherfuckers talk about how they hate communism. Well, slavery was the epitome of communism. Because if the slave plantation manager, master, or whatever, was the government of that plantation, then he told each and every one of those motherfuckers what they're going to do. Nah, nigga, I don't want you cooking fucking cornbread. You out in the field. You go cook the cornbread. You know what I'm
They
saying?
were given their
And
assignments.
so that person became pretty good at cooking cornbread, while this person became pretty good at picking cotton.
Yep.
And collards and shit. And tobacco. So it ain't the same. It's bullshit. There is no history to rewrite.
No.
You knew what the fuck was going on before you went into the concentration camp. And if you made it out, you knew what the fuck was going on when you made it out.
Yep.
There's nothing to rewrite. There's no reason to tear down the fucking building because the building didn't predate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you lived it, it didn't precede you. And it can remind you of the people that died there.
Right.
You feel me? It's like, so if you made it out, you can go back to that building and be like, man, I lost my homie there. That's the reason why there's a memorial at 9/11.
Right.
So that we can remember the motherfuckers that died
there,
on
yeah.
that day at September on the World Trade Center. But with slavery, this shit was generations.
Yes.
So when you see a fucking statue and you don't know anything, then you just, once again, you're looking at that statue like, hey, look at Mr. Big Man. He's an awesome dude. He got a statue. Look at him. He's on a horse. He's blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? The history's already been written. It's already
Exactly.
It's already been been whatever out. You know what I'm saying?
You can't compare also 4 years to over 400 years.
But the thing is, no. What is yes, and you're right. You're super right with that. And just to extend that a little bit further, is what I'm saying is that what if for some reason in that 4 years, everybody that was over the age of 5 was killed. Every Jew over the age of 5 was killed in concentration camp. Maybe you can compare it, because now each of those babies, now those toddlers, have to now grow up and be taught how to live. They have to be taught what truly being Jewish is.
Right.
They got to be taught what the 3 generations before them went through, and the accomplishments that 3 generations before them had, and the hardships that 3 generations before them had. But at least in their case, they're still able to be taught that the generations before them were free, and they actually had accomplishments and things.
Yep.
They still got shit left to them.
Absolutely.
There were some motherfuckers that probably got out of that and still went back and reclaimed property.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They were, yeah, you're absolutely right. Slaves were robbed of everything, even history, their own history.
Exactly. So you're a slave and you coming out of it, oh, slaves are free. Okay, we were free in 18, whatever the fuck. Now, once again, going back to that doppelganger shit, well, in 1600 and in 100 years, those are 2, 3 at least generations right there. Well, you got a line of motherfuckers that never voted, never knew what to vote, never knew how to vote, never had access to voting, never was in the fucking voting, whatever. In fact, you had motherfuckers that they would, I think, you had to have like 3 to 5 slaves before you added up to one person.
Yeah.
It was 3/5 of a person, or 1/3 of a person.
Yeah, you weren't even considered a person.
Exactly. So you have to get all that out of your whatever.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get all that out of your system. So, and the only way to get all out of your system is to to see it in a different light. You feel me? That's the reason why people break up with. Let me take a chick. I hear chicks say that shit all the time. There's been a couple of chicks, cuties on Facebook that post dumb shit. Cutie white chicks. You still cute. You just stupid. And they post
I didn't expect that.
And they post this shit like, you can't rewrite history. Well, idiot, you do it all the time. If you've ever broken up with somebody, you rewrote fucking history. When you met the motherfucker, he was the bomb. He swept you off your feet, had you in love. You thought he was the man. In fact, go through your Instagram and your Facebook timeline. You probably got pictures of you all in love. Now fast forward to today, you can't stand the motherfucker. You want to cut him out of your life. You cut some pictures in half. Look at some of your tweets when you was posting some of your shit about how you guys are ride or die forever, and he's the bomb, and he made you breakfast in bed. Now look at some of your posts about his asshole, about him. You got subliminals where you talking shit about him. You're rewriting history because you found out the truth about that asshole. And when you found out the truth, you couldn't accept the lie anymore. And you needed the world, you needed yourself to know it.
Right.
You need the people that was close to you and important to you to know it. And you need the world to know it.
All right.
So what the fuck are they talking about?
Yep. I mean,
talk to your people.
I mean, it's not about demeaning what Jews went through. Not at all. Look,
it don't have anything to do with the Jews.
Right. But no, I mean, from your original point, when you started off with the Holocaust, I mean, true. They lost 6 million people within those 4 years. But there were so many Black lives lost over those 400 years. That's impossible to record.
It ain't even about the numbers. Somebody say, well, it took them centuries to kill millions of slaves. We don't even know if they killed millions of slaves. How can you say they killed 10 million slaves if you don't know they killed 10 million slaves? Even Native Americans might be like, well, the motherfuckers came here and in the course of 100 years decimated us. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about the numbers. It's about that specific thing about when people saying you can't rewrite history. And then they're using this symbolism and saying the Jews, they had the opportunity to have Auschwitz torn down and a lot of these concentration camps torn down. And I guess as a community, they prefer not to. They prefer to say, no, we want to keep this as a reminder to the world. And I get it. I fucking get it. But we're not going to keep all these hundreds of plantations up as reminders to the world. Actually, a lot of these plantations are colleges and other things now. Mm-hmm. But that goes into the whole whitewashing, the whole romanticizing of it all. Nobody has romanticized what happened to the Jews.
No.
Nobody has it. Any movie that you watch, I guarantee motherfucking you, the Nazi's the bad guy.
Yeah. The facts are all right. They're all the same.
Nazi's the bad guy, bro. Even if it's a deep movie, Nazi's still the bad guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, but there are movies that you can watch now where the cowboy is the good guy. And his little, partner who is somebody of color is his partner, his subordinate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just bled into it. You know what I'm saying? Can I be the Lone Ranger? Or do I have to be Tonto? You know what I mean? Can I be Bo and Luke? You know what I'm saying? Can I even live in Hazard County? Could we have lived in Hazard County together?
Probably not.
Probably not. So that's what I'm saying. It's funny because I do. Damn, I'm like fucking this thing up. I think let's go to a break, and then when I come back, we'll go into some of our clips and things like that. I do have a few set up. Actually, I want to speed through a lot of this stuff because I really want to get to the speeches, and I don't want to gas out before we get to those things.
Okay.
I think they're really important, but I also think this other stuff is important. So we got a great show for folks, but right now we are going to figgity fade out, and we will be bored.
Hey, when that shit touch, man, I just do the running man.
What up, folks? It's your boy TMC here. Just wanted to give another PSA about budget. You have a budget. I have a budget. Hell, freaking Dogcatcher has a budget. We all have budgets. Key is working within those things, and sometimes being able to make more out of a little less. You're just now starting out as an artist. Maybe you have a project in which you don't have a big budget for, or maybe you just want to do some behind-the-scenes stuff. Well, that's where we come in.
Glock 19, you don't want it, man. Gotta sell a little 80 where you want it.
Guys, thanks for watching. And to see more T4J content, please visit TMC4JMC.com.
And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe down below.
That's what's up. Peace. Cool. What up? You can stop it. What up? We're back. I didn't want to lower your thing because sometimes I forget to.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I forget to raise it back up, so that's why I didn't want to lower it.
For sure.
But the reason why we're fading back in with the music is because actually we have an important message to kind of get out. Basically, one, we want to thank the audience that has been viewing the content we put out, and you know, those that share it, those that comment, you know, we want to thank you and hopefully encourage you guys to do more. I think that the myth about social media and things that we do is that you know, it doesn't count. It's not real. And,
right.
And we're here to show people that it is.
Absolutely.
We're here to show people that it doesn't have to be other people that are doing this and making money off of it. You know, everyone can do this for a living if they want to. And,
absolutely. And I want to thank all our new followers as well, our new subscribers. Thanks for the support.
And if you're not subscribed, and you're watching this, then please subscribe.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe. Like the whichever social media platform you're watching this on. Please follow, like, and subscribe, because the reason why is that, one, that's how we're able to continue to do what we do. It's just like any brand. It's just like if you like Jordan, if you like Gucci, if you like whatever,
right,
you're gonna support that brand by buying it
and keeping up
and keeping up in it. Well, the beauty of our content is that it's free.
It's free.
For
Absolutely.
For the most part,
it costs you nothing.
It's just a stream, and just the same way that a rock star moves by the song, you guys, most regular people, check to check. You know, we live by the view, by the stream, by the follow. So,
yep.
So please continue to show your support.
Thank you.
Please follow. Please like, subscribe,
share,
and share and engage.
Yes.
Because one other thing that we're looking to do is start conversations. And
absolutely, let us know what you think.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you think, but just also engage. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you feel the way we feel, tell us. If you feel differently, tell us differently.
Absolutely.
If you have additional information to add or corrections to add, by all means, comment on whatever platform you're watching this on.
Yes.
We even have a comment section on TMC4JMC.com, where you can go and you can tweet us directly. You know what I'm saying? So by all means,
get at us.
Get at us, get involved, and thank you for those who have, and thank you for those in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Thank you.
So where we at right now is, I have this video package. It's I believe it's Jimmy Kimmel. They were talking about, you know, obviously all these statues, people wanting to bring them down, and it's like, come on, can we just do that already, rather than having to fight this shit every time? You know, somebody black is gonna get killed again.
Yeah, make a big scene every time we have to take one down. Or
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is that someone black is gonna get killed again, and when it does, the people are going to say, "Look, can we at least get rid of the symbolism?" You know what I'm saying? Can we at least get rid of symbolism? That nobody's saying that taking down that statue is going to stop a black guy from getting killed,
right?
But can we at least slowly but surely start changing the culture? Just righting the ship.
Yep.
Righting the ship. And I get what people are saying. These statues ain't gonna do nothing. You gotta do more. You gotta change this. You gotta do that. Look, bro. Yeah, sometimes you could throw a Hail Mary. Sometimes you gotta fight it a yard at a time.
Right.
Sometimes they say football is a game of inches. Sometimes you just gotta fucking get it a yard at a time, and you got 4 downs to do it. So if you get 3 yards per down, you got the first down. And you do that 10 times, you deep in the end zone. So, you know, so I get it. But now there's another side. And they're willing. And see, here's the thing. The media isn't covering it. So once again, when everybody was talking about the looters and the protesters, this is a crime. This is a protest. Everybody on their high horse. They didn't think about the dark side of what was going on. Sure, the media was showing what the cops were doing, but on top of that, there was another side of that as well. Charlottesville, what was a crime was when a motherfucker drove through the goddamn protesters with a car.
With a car, yes.
And killed a woman. That was a crime. So there's another side, and this side is violent. And every time this side shows up, somebody gets hurt.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's now time to start pointing or whatever. So we have this clip. Just want you guys to kind of listen to it, and we actually going to listen to it. And give it a go.
Where a man was shot last night at a protest over a statue of a Spanish conquistador. Demonstrators were trying to tear down
A Spanish conquistador.
I didn't know they had statues up of Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah, we got Christopher Columbus.
Oh,
and this is
Columbus, yeah.
I don't know if that was. I don't think that was Columbus. To be honest, it's in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't really know
Wow.
who the statue was. To be honest, yeah, but yeah, it's in New Mexico.
Wow.
So now people are willing to fight even over conquistadors.
Well, yeah, the conquistadors, yeah. I mean, I could see why down there.
Why?
Well, the conquistadors, they went around enslaving a lot of indigenous people in different South American countries.
Yeah, no, that's why they would want to take them down.
Right, exactly. So I'm just
But why would anybody want to fight for them? Where are the conquistador protectors, defenders?
Yeah, they're
Who are they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would imagine that the only ones that it would be a group of Spaniards, and do they even have enough to like protest to keep it up?
Like, and that's what we're saying. Like, now that it's been established that Black Lives Matter, it hasn't been established, but it's being said, and the coalition is getting big. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, all lives matter to us. You know, we can say that all lives matter because Black Lives Matter. And yeah, there's been brown and red people that have been decimated as well.
Absolutely.
And they got their bones to pick as well. Mm-hmm. So who are all these people that are opposing not only the Black lives that matter, but now the brown lives that matter, the red lives that matter? Because
Right.
nobody gave a fuck when they wanted to throw a pipeline through all this Native American land.
Yeah.
So who are these people that are opposing? And something tells me that it's not a diverse crowd. So
I don't think it would be.
yeah,
I'd be shocked.
down the statue while also clashing with members of a self-appointed armed civilian militia who had vowed to protect the statue. The victim is in critical but stable condition right now. Several people believed to be militia members involved in the shooting are now in custody while police investigate. The city says the statue will now be taken down for public safety reasons.
I
Okay,
wonder
first of all,
who this group
the
of
fact that the news
militia.
can just say the phrase self-appointed armed civilian militia like it's normal.
I wonder what this militia consists of. Like, I'm so curious.
Oh, you mean like nationalities? Mm-hmm. Probably white people.
Yeah, but from where?
From fucking probably New Mexico. They don't give a fuck. They ain't no Spanish people out coming all the way to New Mexico. to
No,
fight for
that's
some
what I
goddamn statue.
mean. Like,
But the fact that you can have a self-appointed militia, like how he said,
Self-appointed,
is a
I know.
problem. It's a problem. You guys got an issue with motherfuckers going out in the street, bro, and saying, yo, hands up, don't shoot. And then you even got a problem with, like, they out there, they don't own that statue. They vowed to protect it. Mm-hmm. We got motherfuckers now vowing to protect and objects.
yeah, what stock do you have in it?
Objects. So even objects are more valuable than people. Your bullshit is more valuable than people. Your bullshit is just an object. So I ask anybody, yo, is we're not talking about your house and your car. I understand that. You don't want anybody to take your house and your car. You don't.
Right, it's yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's yours. It's all you got.
That's all you got.
It's all you got.
It's your property.
You know what I mean? And even if you got 100 houses and 100 cars, I kind of get it. You know, it's yours. You worked for it, and we've all accepted that it's yours.
Right.
But this fucking statue is not yours.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what stock? What stock do you have in this?
Yeah, even if you say, well, it represent my history, and the love and the South and all that.
What? No, it doesn't. I really doesn't.
No, if you want that, you can keep that. But the statue is not yours.
No.
All that yang that you just made up, Sure, that can be yours. But once again, you can't have. Let's say there was an armed, self-appointed militia of black people who decided they wanted to protect the peaceful protesters from the other self-appointed militias and the cops.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? Like, and I know there's a lot of rhetorical questions that are thrown out, like, what do you think is going to happen? But that isn't hard to find. You know what I'm saying? That's like the answer to that isn't hard. It's like the Soul Train board. Eventually, if you use your brain, you're going to find a phrase because they got the letters up there. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be like, I think it's encyclopedia. And they're like, it's only 4 letters up there.
Right.
It's cake, dummy. You know what I'm saying? So you might do fucking KACE, but like case, I don't know what that shit is. You know what I'm saying? You might do EACK, yeah, you know. But eventually,
You're gonna land on cake.
you're gonna land on cake. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like with this situation. If you have what kind of cake do you think you're gonna make if the ingredients you putting in are peaceful protesters, an armed self-appointed militia
Yeah.
here to protect a statue
I
or
know.
some dumb shit, cops that are ready to kick some ass,
I just see it ending so badly.
and a self-appointed armed militia of color who vowed to protect the peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
What kind of cake do you think you're gonna make?
Yeah, a really crazy one.
A really explosive one. You're gonna have a messy ass kitchen. So that's all I'm saying, and that's why it's like, yo,
That's crazy.
this is bullshit. Like, come on, bro. Like, on the show The Five, you know, they like to talk about the vandals and stuff like that. They call them the vandals and the mafia. You know, the left mafia and the woke mafia. The woke mafia.
The woke mafia? Really? That's a thing?
Now woke is being laughed at. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, bro. If anybody has a history of making fun of things that are deemed insightful, then that person's probably either they got bad intentions or they fucking stupid. Or maybe a little bit of both. You know, I'll let you be the decision.
Yeah.
Look them up and down and make your make your decision. You know what I mean?
Check them out.
Yeah, check them out. You know, and because it goes back to smarty pants. Oh, look at you, smarty pants. Why are we taught to hate smarty pantses? Motherfucker smart.
Yep.
He knows. Shut up and listen. Obviously, you don't. So, anybody who's like, yeah, you know, the woke mafia and this, that, and the other, or trying to insult intelligence, you know, the elitist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and now the elitist stands for like lawyer, or no, it stands for like community organizer and lawyer for civil rights and, you know, progressive things like that. Because if you're a lawyer on the right side, then you're not an elitist. You're just a lawyer. You're a professional. So anyway, no, go ahead. You gonna say something?
No, I'm just thinking back to this whole conquistador thing. I'm just, you know, conquistador and its root of its word doesn't mean anything good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know, so
Exactly.
I'm just like surprised anybody would fight for
That's
it.
like fighting for a statue of Godzilla.
Yeah.
You know, there's Godzilla up there. What?
I mean, I don't know how long this statue's been up, but yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised that it's been up this long. I'm surprised anybody's fighting to keep it up, because you know, conquistadors they were enslaving people before Americans, you know, started enslaving people. So bringing over slaves. So,
But that's my main thing. Like, why is anybody here fighting? You know, even like even when they wanted to question the Christopher Columbus situation, you have Americans. Yeah, people in like Congress. It's our history. They want to, but yeah, I think even Trump said some shit about it. And it's like, Christopher Columbus? Like, why are we championing that motherfucker? Like,
Yeah.
it had nothing to do with us. You know what
we
I'm saying?
celebrate a lot of history that didn't come in on a good note, like they say.
Yeah.
No, it came in with destruction, disease, and decimation of just races of people.
And even if and even if you want to turn a blind eye to that, why is it so important to protect it? Like, that's the point that is like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, do you just want to protect anything that oppresses? Like, is that what it's all about now? Oh, Christopher Columbus, enslaved, impressed,
Yeah, it doesn't
destroyed.
matter if
Okay,
it's
that's
in,
what we really want to champion. We want to
right.
champion that. You know what I'm saying?
Or is it that you need a statue to go with the history books that are in school? Because it doesn't matter whether we have them or not. I mean, it doesn't matter that we keep them. You know,
I mean, I personally don't care about statues. But if people want to put up statues, okay, put up statues. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Like, I would rather statues that don't mean anything, like statues of animals and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, that's a nice statue of a unicorn. You know, cool. You know,
right.
we got to have something to look at, some
I
kind of
see
art.
beautiful statues of horses and
Yeah,
cows,
exactly.
you know, that are artistic and stuff like that.
Like corporations put up statues of their fucking logos and shit.
Yeah, we got bulls and fucking
You know,
on Wall Street and shit.
but you know, it's art. But at the same token, you know, you can't honor the shit. Like, these statues weren't just put up. These
no,
statues were
they were
honored.
monuments.
They're monuments, exactly.
Dedicated to these people.
They're monuments. They're bases. They're streets. They're things to memorialize and to honor these people. And that's where the bullshit comes.
Absolutely.
If you want to paint a painting that ain't gonna mean shit to nobody but you, then rock and roll.
Yep.
So the question is why do these people want to fight so much over it? And so his name is John Williams, and Juan Williams, and he's the one black guy on this show. I believe the 5. He's the one like left kind of dude. And so they were talking shit about the mob, the woke mob, and he had to tell them, like, look, you know, one, they didn't really let him talk, but he's like, look, for starters, Americans have the right to peacefully protest and to peacefully, you know, assemble. They have the right to air out their grievances. They have the First Amendment right to air out their grievances. Looting and all that stuff, vandalizing, those are crimes. But you can't combine the two. Because if you're going to combine the two, then what you have to do is you have to then take in mind that just wait. You're going to see that it ain't all them.
Right.
That some of it is bullshit. Some of it is meant to incite. You know what I'm saying? Some of it meant to provoke things. You've been having situations about where, like, these protesters have been infiltrated by, like, white supremacist groups, and people have gotten killed. But you don't really hear much about that. So it's like, look, you got to call attention to that. And, you know, I don't know. I don't want to harp on it too much, but like I said, it's just weird that people are defending these symbols.
Yeah, like, I wonder if they did their research on what this statue is, who the statue is, because actually the statue of this conquistador, Juan de Oñate, he's actually in there are some stories written about him, and I think he's even mentioned in some Columbus-based movies, Christopher Columbus-based movies.
Oh, okay.
Because he was, I mean, in history books, he was the guy that went out and conquered, especially like they came up through Mexico and the indigenous people in Mexico, the Aztecs, the road to El Dorado. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of those stories were coming from. You know, I mean, so, you know, and they went up through New Mexico when Spain claimed, because Spain claimed a lot of parts of what we now know as the U.S. Mexico came up. New Mexico was one of those territories that was Spanish owned, you know. So, and I'm just, like I said, they came here and they enslaved the indigenous people. If you were originally from New Mexico, you were enslaved as soon as the conquistadors came over. That guy, that statue of that guy, he's the one that did it.
Yeah, him.
He is the one that probably killed a lot of your peeps.
But yet, there's probably a plaque there saying how awesome he was. Saying that he had 12 inches and shit. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like,
I know.
it's like, whatever, bro. It's like, look, and I'm going to skip around a little bit, but it's like motherfuckers, we beat up on the General League last time. And, you know, people were like, well, the show had nothing to do with race. And it had everything to do with race. One, it was about a time in which, while the show didn't, it was one of those things where, once again, separate cannot be equal. Just because there
Right.
were no black people in the show doesn't mean it was not about race.
Right.
And we asked the question, could it have been a black show? And the answer is no.
No, it could not have been.
Then that, and just that doesn't make it inherently racist. If you wanted to write a movie about Jack the Ripper, and it was based in England, I guess it can't be in a neighborhood that everybody was black. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I guess that wouldn't be true to the setting.
Right.
So yeah. But in this situation, they couldn't have been the Dukes. Mm-hmm. Because at the time, there were laws that would have been stopping them from being the Dukes. They could have been Dukes, but they would have received a crazy punishment.
Right. They had their own state laws that,
Exactly. And so this show chose to highlight all that. And I get it. People saying, well, no, the flag is just Southern people wanting to just say yeehaw. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all the flag means.
Right.
Yeehaw.
And it doesn't.
Well, what the fuck does yeehaw
Yeah,
mean?
I don't know what yeehaw is.
And I'm sure when some people heard yeehaw, they didn't, oh shit, yeehaw, here come their crazy ass white folks with that flag.
Yep.
Because whenever it's time to kick some ass and burn some shit, that flag comes out. It's like, it ain't even a Confederate flag, it's the battle flag. And it's meant, and every war the United States have had, people, the descendants of the Confederacy have fought in those wars. Yeah, including the Civil War.
Right.
Actually, the descendants of the Confederacy didn't fight in the Revolutionary War. No. The motherfuckers wanted to succeed.
Yep.
And had they succeeded in succeeding, we might not have had all the other wars.
Right.
So what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, and when they were fighting those wars, other than the Civil War, they were fighting under a different flag.
That's right.
Now, if I'm wrong, this is the perfect time to set me straight. Anybody, the moment you hear this, get the clicking, post me a link, get at me, call me all kinds of names. But is there a war where the troops fly that flag? When they rode into Iraq, was that the flag that they had? When they posted and like, we killed you, Saddam, was that the flag? You know what I'm saying? Like, when they send back troops and it's like people who've been killed.
It's not.
Are they like, okay, we're going to put two flags over their coffin because they from South Carolina or they from, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Or is it just the American flag? You feel me? So all that, well, they fought, the descendants, you know what? Descendants of slaves fought in those flags, those wars as well. The fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
Descendants of the Union fought in those wars. Everybody that fought in those wars don't get a fucking flag to fly around on their Capitol building. That's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. They're saying it represents the South. No, it doesn't represent the South. The South don't have its own separate flag. And if they did, why would it be a battle flag?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So none of that shit stands up to cross-examination. It's all stupid. And once again, like I said, I get it. Tons of black people love the Dukes of Hazzard. I love the Dukes of Hazzard. I love the thought of cars that can jump and leap over shit. So any show that had that going on, Kit, Batmobile, generally, I was with it. Starsky and Hutch, I like their shit. Hell, fuck, I even like Chips. You know what I mean? But that didn't mean police brutality I was okay with it.
Right.
I'm not even saying Chips need to go off the air. I'm just saying, once again, I can't be like, yo, your shit. I can understand why it should come off the forts, and then be like, yeah, but it's cool for the general elite, especially when they're arguing that bullshit. Mm-hmm. When they're arguing, what are you looking at?
What?
What are you looking at?
I'm sorry. I was actually looking at.
'Cause you kind of spaced out.
Yeah, I apologize. I was actually looking at that conquistador guy, because I had made a mistake. He was actually born there in Mexico, although he did lead expeditions into like Colorado and, for indigenous tribes and things. But, I just didn't even see that he was born in Mexico. So I was going to correct myself. And so I apologize if I blanked.
No. If you got more information, spill it.
And I apologize to our audience as well.
No, spill it, bro.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's
I mean, fuck it.
What I was going to say.
Either way, it is what it is. My point about all this shit, and I don't even know where I'm at with this stuff, is that yo, enough with this flag stuff. Just enough with these things, and I don't think their arguments are sound anymore, and I would just like to move past it. Okay. That's it. Anyway, so.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You know what else like to lick a lot?
Specs.
Yeah, boys.
And Malo.
Our doggies. They love to lick, and they love to chew, and they love to eat snacks, and they love to do all those things.
They love snacks.
And a real cool place that they can go to get those things is Hidden Closet.
Oh, yes.
And why is that?
That's because right now you can sign up for BarkBox, get great deals and specials. Our boys have been getting BarkBox for a couple years now. That's why we have so many toys everywhere. And
that's why they're so in the way.
And that's why they're so in the way. And Specs loves ripping them all up and waiting for new ones to come in so he can rip those up too.
Yeah.
And the little guys love their snacks. I think that it's so cool that each box comes with a theme.
And that's the cool thing. We've been down with them. And the thing is we've been down with them for about 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
And it's not like every year, okay, January you're going to get the same January toy, February you get the same. No, they switch it up every month of every year. So
do you remember Chinese New Year, and we got a little Chinese food container, and you opened it up and it had 2 little wontons inside? Yeah. Oh, that squeaked. Oh my gosh, they have like the best toys. They're just so creative.
My favorite one was the airplane. I really loved it.
Oh, the airplane. That one was super cute.
Yeah, like the luggage that came with it.
Yes, there's so many of them that I don't even want to give them to play with because they're just so cute.
But not only that, but they also worked in the sense of they provide snacks and other things that I wouldn't think of giving my pet or looking into. So definitely
new
check
products,
out BarkBox. What are some of the deals they can get on the website?
They can get special offers now on your first month, your first box of your first. Yeah, absolutely. If you sign up for a full year, you can get it all at a reduced rate.
Oh, dope city.
Check them all out. And if you like their products, you can get them mostly. They have a lot of sales on a lot of their natural products now. Their natural chicken bites and things like that. And those are the kinds that Spexies love. So, yep, you get exclusive deals and you'll absolutely love it. And they treat your dog so good.
Well, that's Hidden Closet.
Check them out.
TMC4JMC.com. Check it out, and I think you'll enjoy your doggy's gonna enjoy it.
At least try it out the first month. You'll love it. There's no commitment.
Give it a shot, folks.
Yep.
So we're back. when we left, we were talking about the Confederate flag and statues and just all that stuff. And I don't want to go on it too long, but I do kind of want to wrap it up because I did have some important information that a different perspective on it. One of the things that people who have a problem, who at least love the flag, the Confederate flag, battle flag, is that one of the points that they make is that one, it's not the Confederate flag. So that's their way of saying it's not the slavery flag. It's the different flag, which whatever. Two, it's not the grape Kool-Aid, it's cherry Kool-Aid. So two, they like to do things like, okay, now break down what the symbolisms of the flag supposed to be.
Right.
So, for example, the cross technically supposed to be the cross of
The axe, like the axe on the flag.
yeah, it's supposed to be the cross of Andrew, the first disciple.
Okay.
Why that's in a battle flag is beyond me, but whatever. And so now it's supposed to be a Christian flag.
Oh.
And it's not a flag of, and the heritage is that the South is a nice Christian place where Christianity rules supreme and family, and you raise your family, you be
Right.
Christians and all that bullshit. But like I was saying was that the problem is that in the 20th century that, society, the neo-Confederate, hate groups, they use that flag as their way of terrorizing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it was a Christian flag, if it was a this, if it was a that, that was never the case.
It didn't come through that way.
Yeah, it didn't come out when it's time to go to church. You know what I'm saying? It came out when it was time to kick some ass.
Well, there were a lot of black families that were Christian as well. They didn't bear that flag.
Yeah, and like I was saying about the wars, it wasn't like whenever they went to war or anything like that, they flew that they
Right.
fought on that flag. So all in all, if that flag was such a it's about heritage and being wholesome way of living,
Right.
then it's never generally if my flag is if I'm carrying this flag and that means my people are wholesome and we're this, that, and the other.
Right.
When we go to the next planet, we're gonna go there and we're gonna be wholesome.
Right.
So when people see that flag, when the aliens see at the other planet and they see that flag, they're gonna be like, oh, I think these people are nice. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They give us cookies and shit. Whereas
Santa.
yeah, whereas that flag, whenever black people saw that flag, no, that was a flag that was bringing pain and injustice to them.
Right.
So,
There's nothing joyful attached to that. when you saw
exactly,
it coming.
it's yeah, that was the flag that post Civil War was used to deny people their rights. You know what I'm saying? And if they talk as if George Floyd was wearing a Confederate bandana, the cops would have been fine with him.
Yeah.
Because the American flag didn't save him.
No.
And people that wear the Confederate flag generally don't like people like him. So,
If he was wearing the Confederate flag, you think it would have saved him? No.
one could wonder. So yeah, so that was that little situation with all that. I do have this clip here is a little interesting. It goes into how the school books were rewritten and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
How the just how people say, well, once again, you can't rewrite history. It's our history. But once again, you got to know it. You got to know it. Or
Right.
you got to at least take the time to want to know it, to look a little deeper. And like I was saying, conservatives and people along those lines are usually the most least trusting motherfuckers on the
Yeah.
planet. But anything that doesn't jolt, I think, the narrative that is really in them. Because you can be somebody that's even from an oppressed person and still kind of be like, damn, want to be the oppressor. Maybe like, shit, if I could just go on this side of the street, then
Yep.
I'll be with the oppressed, be
Yep.
there with the oppressors. So, you know, but if you say to them like, look, what you've been taught is not the truth. Is everybody knows it's a lie. Why are you choosing to believe the lie? You know,
Right.
that's when they become angry. So,
Yeah, and it's because it's a valid question.
so hopefully through here we can provide a little bit more information and just more context. So this is a cool one. I would probably talk over it, but you know.
Listen to how this textbook describes slavery.
The master often had a barbecue or a picnic for his slaves. Then they had a great frolic. Even while working in the cotton fields, they sang songs. The beat of the music and the richness of their voices made work seem light.
Yikes, that's from History of Georgia, a textbook published in 1954 that was taught across junior high schools in Georgia for decades. That sort of language is part of an intellectual movement called the Lost Cause.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, so we talked about the lost cause in the last episode, and basically that was their way of romanticizing the South's position and you know the whole Civil War and the
It
whole
sounded so happy
situation
and
about it all. And yeah, and this was that right there was being taught to slaves in the 6th grade. And technically, yeah, I remember my school books. It wasn't like, yeah, they went into
That's right.
you know, the brutality of it all and things like that. It was more or less, yeah, you know, this happened, that happened, that happened. And then
Yep.
we did some cool shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they softened it up
You know.
definitely for
So, you know, and then we started fighting Russia. So, you know.
yeah, it went from slavery to
A
Russia.
distorted version of American Civil War history that's been prevalent in the South for a long time. It took shape soon after the defeat of the Confederate States in the war, when Southern historians like Edward Pollard and former Confederate General Jubal Early started preserving the South's perspective through their writings. They framed the Confederate cause as a heroic defense of the Southern way of life against the overwhelming forces in the North. That narrative
The overwhelming forces.
The overwhelming force. So basically, they took a losing battle. It's like imagine if the story of David and Goliath, David actually got his ass kicked. Mm-hmm. Well, the people of David would have then went back and they would have wrote a story of how David valiantly fought Goliath. And he
right.
almost beat Goliath. I mean,
Yeah.
he had Goliath on the ropes. And if it just wasn't for the fact that Goliath got some help from somebody else, maybe
It was a very unfair.
yeah, Goliath threw some. Even though Goliath was so big and strong, he had to throw dirt in David's eyes
Yep.
in order to get the drop on him.
That's right.
And but if that was the case, then why
They
did
lost valiantly.
if that was the case, then why did he never try it again?
Yeah, right. They're like a one and done.
Yeah, one and done, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You were so defeated that you no longer believed in your cause.
narrative has a few basic tenets: the glorification of Confederate soldiers who died for a cause they believed in, the belief that slavery was a benevolent institution, and maybe most importantly, that slavery was not the root.
So basically what the whole lost cause purpose was is to just what we were saying earlier before the break about the Confederate thing. They fought in every war that Americans ever had.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The descendants were great. Mm-hmm. The descendants were great. But their fucking ancestors
Right.
were shitty. They were shitty. I don't think all the descendants of Al Capone are bad.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know what Al Capone's son did. Does he have a son? I don't. I have no idea. Don't know if he has a son. Let's just assume he has 12. As long none of them became gangsters, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like
They couldn't have all became gangsters,
Like-
It's
it's like no. Yeah, sure. We kind of expected Jordan's son to play basketball and to dunk, but once he didn't, we kind of left it alone.
Yeah.
We didn't be like, dude, why you ain't champion? You know what I'm saying? You Jordan's son.
Right.
No, we left him to carve his own fucking path.
Exactly. We didn't expect him to be another Jordan.
But here, they made everybody who fought in the Confederacy, it's almost like they gave him sainthood. And because they gave him sainthood, now their descendants are now absolved
Right.
of the bullshit.
Right.
They were fighting because the overwhelming forces of the North were invading into the South and taking over their homeland.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fight because slavery.
No.
In fact, the slaves were happy to be slaves. They loved Massa.
Yeah, they loved them. They sang for him, and they whistled while they worked.
And some did. Some did, but not all. Not most.
Mm-mm.
And some did because they were taught to. They were forced to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were divided up, but not all. So that was the thing. But once again, you have to know your history. And to be honest, you got to want to know your history because that shit sounds stupid.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't even sound real. It doesn't. I mean...
You're preaching a false word.
Yeah, like, just think about it. Like the Confederate flag, sure, I guess they were heroic if they were a different nation. Like, that's something that you teach when you're the losing nation.
Right.
You people weren't the losing nation. You were a gang that tried some shit.
Yep.
And you lost.
You lost. Yeah. He told you to go kick rocks.
So nothing that you had, from the flag to your rules to your, none of that shit should have been allowed to exist. All that shit should have been erased from the planet. You lost. So, I don't know. It's just weird.
The root cause of the war. The Lost Cause is one of the most notoriously effective efforts to rewrite history, and it was done by the losing side. So how did it become so deeply rooted in Southern memory? Blame the United Daughters of the Confederacy. The UDC was founded in Nashville in 1894 to preserve Confederate culture for generations to come. The women who made up the group descended from elite antebellum families, and they used their social and political clout to spread the pro-Southern version of the war as real history. You've probably seen their efforts to honor the Confederate
as real history.
Yep.
In fact, there are Confederate flags that say, know the truth, know your history.
Yeah.
Don't forget your roots.
Yep.
And once again, it's, how the fuck can you fly a Confederate flag, and in your gut hate other Southerners?
Right.
Because technically, every slave, every black person that lived in the South was a Southerner. Mm-hmm. If you was in fucking Georgia, you was a Georgian.
Yep.
That's the reason why those people, the Lovings, had to deal with Virginia, because they were Virginians.
They were Virginians, exactly.
But most of these motherfuckers that use that flag use it to keep their own fellow statesmen down.
Right.
Not just their fellow Americans, but their fellow statesmen, their fellow countymen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, once again, when you're saying know your roots and you're flying that, it was never inclusive. Mm-hmm. It can't be about the South and love. The war wasn't about slavery. Slaves were happy. The North was overwhelming, but yet you motherfuckers are still the only ones causing beef.
Right.
You're still not including the blacks. You're still not fucking giving the North their due. And you're still trying to say that your efforts were valiant.
Exactly. And you're trying to say this amidst few other parties that completely saw it a different way, experienced it a whole different way.
So yeah, that was just a little bit, man, to just kind of like, break that up a little bit, and now, before it was an army, Confederate army. And I feel like, over the past few years, that just became the states.
Yeah.
I mean, the cops, you know what I mean? And, hopefully just in time, a lot of this stuff can just,
it's modern transformation.
Can just, I don't know, erode away. I don't think it will. I don't see a time where racism is not going to be a problem here, but hopefully, I mean, because we like to think that, damn, in 300 years, why haven't
Nothing
the racism died off?
Yes.
But that's because, once again, if you look at the time, like you said earlier, this shit is still on the books in 2010.
Yep.
A lot of these people are still alive. We need another 100 years for these people to die. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's a little disenchanting because that means I'm not going to be here.
I know.
You know, I thought my grandmother passed so that I could see it for her, what she didn't see.
We'll go another 100 years
Yeah,
where you
and-
won't see it.
And now I'm gonna have to wait for my grandkids. Not to go on it too much, but you know, I don't want these names to get lost in the mix. The first name is the Stephen Clark. He was the guy that was killed in his backyard with over the cell phone. He was hopping
the
fence, and he got shot. And once again, you know, and then the other chick, well, not the other chick, the other person, sorry, Atatiana Jefferson. I had a long kind of segment that I was going to go in with them, but like I said, I just, you know, let's just speed through these things and get them down. These two cases are cases where people, once again, the beef comes to them. Okay, you can take Floyd, you can take Brooks, and in those situations, they had something happen to where the cops had to come to them. The cops didn't ask to go to them.
Right.
So I can get it. But these are situations, and far too many times there are situations where the people didn't do anything to ask the cops to come. Somebody else deemed that the cops needed to come to that location. And the cops come and people die. And that's what people need to understand, is that it's just too easy. And these is just two of color. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a shame.
and I get it. People of all races are getting killed. And and at this point, all lives matter because Black lives matter.
Right.
And if Black lives don't matter,
then all lives don't matter.
So I get that, but you know, it's time to look at the problem, and a lot of these things that people are suggesting, like the body cameras, like why aren't they on all the time?
Right.
Things like that. You know, I hope they start taking these things into consideration, and you know, and just put it's time to get to work, bro. But these names, I hope people look them up and start adding them into the mix of what's going on, and you know, don't forget these people.
Yeah.
I understand it's a unity walk, we came together, but this is not the time for them to be talking. We understand, we appreciate that, but everybody that got an issue out here, now is the time to get up here and say how you feel. That's the pain you've been going through. The information that's been withheld from you, from cases that you don't have. Now is the time to get up here. So they just start opening these cases that you don't got information from. What is his name? Leon. Free. Who else is it? Matthew. All these people that's been killed here. Look,
By the police.
time to get up
By
here
the police.
and stand up for your people.
That's
If you ain't got answers, Tiara McNeil, the Hardy County Police, the Hardy County Sheriff's Office is still withholding information from her son's death. They won't give her no information.
No,
This been
her
going
own
since
son.
2017. Why don't she got no information?
That's right.
And he was with 3 or 4. It's not,
White boys.
It's not a racist thing, but
But it was
he
white
with 3 or
boys.
4 white people.
I'm gonna hear
And
it.
they went down there and said whatever story to cover it up, and that's what she gotta live with.
That's
That
right.
boy can't swim.
That's
Why the
right.
hell is he in the goddamn ocean with Jordans on his feet?
That's right.
And he all his goddamn clothes on.
That's right.
They killed him.
That's right.
And we out here doing all this, but you can't stand up for us. Like, get your ass on this podium and tell me what the fuck is wrong.
Thanks for watching, and to see more T4J content, please visit TMC4JMC.com, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because we appreciate your support. All right? Peace. Cool. So, we are going to take a break here. I think it's
You want
time.
some wine?
Yeah, it's time for a fill up.
Yeah.
So let's just take a little quick 5-minute, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
See you soon.
Peace.
Like I'm talking like late 70s, early 80s.
And the place to be. And the place to be.
It's like, hello, 1981 called. They want their beat back.
TMC is the place to be. What? I get funky on the mic. What? Oh man. Alrighty. Yeah, it is a little 80s
80s hip hop.
80s hip
Rap.
hop or like 90s West Coast vibe, like but early 90s. Like I can see like DJ Quick, you know.
Yeah,
flexing on
exactly.
something like this, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
I'm glad you saw what I was throwing out there.
Yeah, I feel your vibe. you know your beats.
I think so.
You know your beats.
I think I'm pretty good with those.
Beats by JMC.
Yep, coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
Keep checking out Hidden Closet.
I had to get a refill during the break.
You got your wine?
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the ones we got from wines.com?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice little red, you know.
Yep, we put that. Yeah. I think that wines.com is pretty cool. They got some good selections on there, and we are lucky enough to now be able to offer some coupon codes to some of our interested parties out there in our
word?
closet. Yep, absolutely. I think we've never been the bougie type where we join a wine club and we pay like hundreds of dollars for these wines and stuff like that. Actually, these are really great wines at really good prices. Right now we're
Delivered
offering
to your door.
Delivered to your door, Corona free, contactless wine delivery, and for new customers, if you use our new promo code new 2020, you'll get 20% off.
Oh, sweet.
Yep, your first order. So that's NEW2020. And check out Hidden Closet. You'll see the link on there for wine.com. We have some great sales on there, or they have some great sales on there, like 50% off.
No, you really
Some
firing
wines.
through
Oh
this.
my gosh, because I love being able to save money on things that we buy so often.
I can tell you got your notes because normally you're like freestyling them, but this one you're like.
It's so new right now that I'm so excited about it.
Okay,
you
all right.
know?
Well, wine.com. I'm excited about it because I like wine.
Yes, and yeah, I don't like wine, but I like getting it at a good price. You know,
And while
I feel like I've accomplished something.
And while I don't mind going to a store, to be honest, with this lockdown, getting
Yeah.
it delivered at the door is great. But I
Right.
have gotten it delivered at the door even prior to this with other companies. But wine.com is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And, well, excuse me, they're bleeping awesome. And yeah, so go to Hidden Closet and
Yep, click on there and you'll get some great deals.
wine.com.
Wine.com. Drink up.
Drink up.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah, if that's what you do.
Well, right now you have no choice but to drink responsibly because you're not supposed to go anywhere. So just drink.
Yeah, do what you do. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of like
Have a glass of wine, sit back, listen to some good music. Chill.
listen to some good music, talk about some cool things.
Yep. Listen to TMC4JMC show, catch up on the newest.
Thanks for watching. And to see more T4J content, please visit TMC4JMC.com. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff because we appreciate your support. All right? Peace. Cool.